Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to talk to you about products that have disappointed me in 2023. I was actually planning on doing this video a little bit sooner in the year, more close to like April, May, so then I can do like one more, say around August or maybe even September, October. But it's taken me a while, and fortunately or unfortunately, some more products got added onto the list recently as well. But some of the other products that you will see me talk about a little bit earlier in the video are ones that I have expressed my disappointment time and time again. But in case you missed that, then this is like I've consolidated all my disappointing products in one video basically. So let's dive right into it because there is a lot of stuff to talk about. And apart from that, I also want to let you know that I will be sharing alternatives for every single product pretty much. I just felt like it would make this video a little bit more positive to share with you alternatives and to kind of tell you that if I had to kind of replace one product with another, I would say this is definitely not anything like a dupes video. I don't think these products are similar. They are better alternatives slash replacements. So that's a little bit different, and I will explain to you how and why for every single one of this. So let's dive right into it. And the first product, which I have told you time and time again that I absolutely do not like, is the Dot & Key Vitamin C plus E sunscreen. I was about to say face cream, but no, the sunscreen. This is a very viral product in my opinion. Everyone talks about it. I feel like everyone has used it, and 90% of people who I have seen rave about it. And if it works for you, then great. If you are someone who is watching this video and you're like, that is my favorite sunscreen, I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you at all, but if you saw me trying it out, you would kind of understand why I dislike this product so much. Because it has that watery thin consistency, I feel like it just pills a ton on my skin. I can never get it to not pill on me, and that's my main problem with this product, is that of course if a sunscreen is pilling on your skin, that's not the kind of sunscreen that you want to be using, because it is also going to compromise on the amount of sun protection you're going to get. And of course, who wants to have a pilly face? Like with or without makeup, in both situations pilling is just not going to work. And now I feel like I've seen more and more people actually speak about how it's not working for them. But when this first launched, everyone was raving about it, and I have just found the Dot & Key sunscreens don't tend to work for me at all, which is why I didn't even get the watermelon one. But there is also one more sunscreen that I want to talk about in the same vein. This is one that's probably not as popular, but I recently tried it out because I thought it would be amazing. Well, turns out it's not, and that is the Dermaco Pore Minimizing Priming Sunscreen. I don't know why they say it's pore minimizing, and I don't know why they say it's priming. I don't agree with either of those claims for this product, but I want to let you know this is one that is super dewy on my skin, very dewy, to the point where I feel like it gives me a white cast because of how dewy it is. And it's just got this very oily look on the skin, which I am not a fan of at all. So yeah, this is another one that I just used it once and I'm like, I am traumatized by the way it looks on me, so I will probably never use it ever again. I have since decluttered both of these. And the alternative product that I wanted to mention, which I think is kind of similar-ish, it's somewhere in the middle in terms of consistency. It's not as liquidy as the Vitamin C plus A sunscreen, but it's also not as thick in terms of the consistency as the Dermaco. But I feel like if you like these two, I think that the alternative will also work really well for you. And even if these first two do not work for you, I think this one will. And it's the Aqualogica Radiance sunscreen. If you like a radiant look, which again is not my personal favorite, but I get that there is a target audience who likes a dewy glowy sunscreen, I think the Radiant sunscreen is better because it has the radiant look, but it's not actually like a greasy sunscreen. It's something that is pretty lightweight and liquidy, does not pill, but it's still lightweight. So it's got that radiant look to it, like the overall finish is radiant, but it's not going to melt off your face. So I think this is a pretty good alternative to the earlier two, which unfortunately did not work out for me, but this one actually did. I liked it, but again, like I said, I'm not the target audience who's looking for a Radiance sunscreen, so that's the reason I didn't end up repurchasing that or using it again. But I think it's a really good product, and I used mine up completely, so that tells you that I did like it when I did have it, but I wouldn't go back to it. Moving on, next, let's talk about another moisturizer. This one is from Cosrx. It's their oil-free ultra moisturizing lotion. So this one, first of all, I don't think is ultra moisturizing. It is oil-free, and it's a very thin moisturizer. It's super duper thin. So this is something that I feel like did not hydrate my skin enough. That was my main problem with it, and that is why I decluttered it. It's also superbly fragranced, which I don't like. I don't like a perfumed face moisturizer. Basically, that's what I'm getting at. So I have two options / alternatives for this one. Both of them are super duper lightweight moisturizers, but they're still hydrating. The first one is the Dermaco Collagen and Peptide Serum Cream. This is one that I have not spoken about in a while because I haven't ended up repurchasing it since I first used it, but I remember what it felt like, and it's a very nice lightweight moisturizer that I still feel like would work for you if you're looking for something that is nice and lightweight but still hydrating. And the second one is actually the one I'm currently using in my morning skincare routine, and that is the One Thing Centella Soothing Cream. I think this is also one that is very nice and lightweight, kind of similar consistency to the Cosrx, but it's still hydrating. So that is the reason why I wanted to recommend these two. Also, if you don't like fragrance and you don't like a perfumed face cream, I think Dermaco and One Thing would be pretty good alternatives in that sense also. Moving on, next, let's come back to sunscreens again, because I feel like sunscreens are such a hot topic these days in the beauty community, and everyone is talking about sunscreens, which is great because we need more people to get onto the sunscreen bandwagon and use sunscreen regularly so that they don't have to kind of deal with the repercussions later, essentially. So any which ways, let's come back to another sunscreen from the brand Sunscoop. Now generally speaking, Sunscoop products have never worked out for me for some reason. I know that again there are a lot of people who like Sunscoop sunscreens. I'm just not one of them, and I've never found any of their sunscreens to work that great for me. But the matte sunscreen, I feel like I was hoping and expecting to work the best for me among all the other ones, and I feel like it did, but it didn't. Like, whenever I wore it, I felt like I was kind of gambling with my skincare, in the sense I didn't know how it would turn out. Am I going to win or am I going to lose? I don't know. That's how I felt with the Sunscoop matte sunscreen. So even though it had that primer like texture and consistency, just supposed to smooth out the skin and mattify the skin and all of that, I just did not find it to sit very well on my skin, and that was my main problem. So if you are someone who has oily skin and you are looking for a mattifying sunscreen, I would recommend the Deconstruct gel sunscreen, which I rave about. It's my holy grail and basically my absolute favorite sunscreen ever. So if anyone has oily skin and is looking for a mattifying sunscreen, that would be my top pick. But in case you wanted some variety and you were like, okay, I am looking for something else that is not the Deconstruct gel sunscreen, I would also suggest the Dr. Sheths Centella and Niacinamide sunscreen. That is actually one that I'm currently wearing on my face as well under this makeup. The only gripe I have with it is that it settles in my lines a lot. So even like when I was doing my makeup, so I did my skincare earlier, then I went to have breakfast and coffee and all that, and then when I came back to put my makeup on, I had the sunscreen in my necklines, I had it in my eyelid creases. So that's my only gripe with it, is that it settles in the lines, and then you have to blend it out a couple of times probably throughout the day if you're not wearing any makeup. And sometimes even when you are wearing makeup on top, I feel like then it makes it more visible, and it's of course difficult to blend out. So that's a problem with the Dr. Sheths. but I still feel like it's way better than the Sunscoop matte sunscreen. So yes, that is that. Moving on next to our fourth product, which was also pretty big disappointment, and I spoke to you recently sharing that I ended up decluttering this one. This is the Deconstruct Hyaluronic Acid and Squalene Moisturizer. So it comes in a tub, and this is a moisturizer I had pretty high hopes from, but unfortunately it did not end up working out for me because I just felt like it did not blend into my skin. Like, that was my main problem essentially with it, is that it felt like basically a cold cream, you know, like super duper thick. Takes a lot of effort to blend into the skin, and even after you do blend it into the skin, it just feels super heavy, like super heavy on the face. So I don't know if this was like a skin type thing or what, but it didn't work out for me. So an alternative I would suggest to this is something that I'm mentioning this with a grain of salt, so I'll give you another alternative recommendation too, but the one that I wanted to recommend is the Chemist Play night creams. Now at the time I'm filming this product was actually not listed on their website anymore. I actually went to repurchase it, but I couldn't find it, and when I contacted them, I did not really get a clear response. In fact, I didn't get any response at all. So I don't know whether or not this product is discontinued or not available anymore. So I'm mentioning with a grain of salt, hoping that by the time this video goes up, that product would be listed back on the website and available in stock to purchase if you wanted to. But if you couldn't purchase it for some reason, I do want to share a few more alternatives. So if the Deconstruct Hyaluronic Acid moisturizer again doesn't work for you, or you don't want to get it because it's going to be too thick, I would recommend the Dot & Key. It's such a long name that I never get it right, but it's this blue tube of moisturizer which is meant for dry skin. And again, this one also has hyaluronic acid and like ceramides in it basically. So I think it's going to be a great nighttime moisturizer, and it's one that I've been using recently. In fact, that is something I used today morning also in my morning skincare routine as a moisturizer, because my skin was feeling a little bit dry. So I thought, you know what, generally I use this as a night cream, let me see today if it works as a day cream, and it actually worked amazing. So super happy about that, and that is something I would recommend instead of the Deconstruct Hyaluronic Acid and Squalene moisturizer. So yeah, we have that. Moving on to something that I have loved the earlier versions of this product so much, and I had very high expectations from the reformulated newer version of the Dot & Key Cica and Salicylic Acid Serum. Now this is something that earlier they used to call the anti-acne serum, then they renamed it to the Salicylic Acid and Zinc Serum, and then they discontinued that and came out with another new version of the same product, which is with Cica. And I think that is what makes this product super gentle. But sometimes when a product is super gentle, I also feel like it's not as effective on my breakouts. So for that, I again do have a recommendation that I'm mentioning with a grain of salt, because I plan to repurchase this particular product and try it out again, hoping that it's going to be as effective as it was a couple of years earlier, and that is the Earth Rhythm Clear Skin Serum. If you have been following me for a few years, you would have seen me talk non-stop about this product. And recently I have so in the middle I had quite a few BHA products, which is why I was holding back on purchasing any new ones, but now I have gone through my stash of BHA serums, and I'm definitely looking at repurchasing this product again and trying it out, and I'm hopeful that it's going to work for you. And if not, another alternative I have is the Dermaco 2% salicylic acid sulfur like spot treatment. Again, if you have like certain specific zits on your face, or like, you know, really hurtful breakouts that you want to use a salicylic product on, I would actually recommend the Dermaco instead. Now with the Dot & Key, the only thing is that you can use the Cica and Salicylic Acid Serum both morning and night, with the sulfur and Dermaco, like the Dermaco Salicylic Acid Sulfur one, I would recommend to use it in the night because it's kind of got this like white tint to the product, so if you are using it in the morning, it might look weird and patchy on your skin. But if you're putting it on at night, it really doesn't matter at the end of the day, because you know, you can just put on your moisturizer on top and go to bed. It doesn't matter what you look like when you're sleeping. I mean, who's going to come and look at you? So it's just one of those things. But personally for me, I think the Dot & Key Cica and Salicylic Acid Serum was just so disappointing, because now they have like, it's almost like watering down a product, you know, you make it super duper gentle. I just don't think it's as effective anymore, and I would personally not suggest or recommend a product unless and until you have super sensitive acne prone skin. Then maybe you might like it, but otherwise no, I wouldn't personally repurchase it, and that's why I wouldn't recommend it either. We also have another Dot & Key product, and this is one that I actually really liked. I'm disappointed by how extremely fragranced it is. I think Dot & Key has been doing a good job with you know, coming out with fragrance-free products and making them less scented in general. Like, their products are not as scented as they used to earlier, but this particular product, I am not 100% sure whether it's fragrance free or not, but it's very strong in terms of its scent, and that is their Pomegranate Miracle Collagen Boost Retinol Serum. This one is a really nice milky retinol, which I think is nice because that way it's going to be a little bit more hydrating, and I really like how hydrating it is. But it's just the scent. Every single night when I put it on, it's superbly scented. That's my one gripe. And then the other thing is that I feel like I literally flew through my bottle. It comes with, I want to say, 25 ml, so the quantity is also definitely lesser, and because of that I feel like literally I went through it in like 10 days. Whereas if I'm getting any other you know, retinol serum, essentially it comes with 30 grams or 30 ml, and that lasts for a good 3 to 4 weeks. So I feel like I went through this very quickly, and for that reason I also wouldn't you know, repurchase it or recommend it. But also just the scent is very strong, and it's not a generic scent, you know, it's also a little bit unique, I think, because of the vitamin A in there. So it's very strong, and yeah, I mean, that's the one thing I would warn you about this product. Not even the purging, not even the retinol, not even the drying side effects, just the fragrance. So if you wanted to get something like this, which is like a creamy retinol, like a creamy consistency of a retinol that is not going to be as strong in terms of its scent, again, I have two recommendations. I would recommend the Foxtale Retinol Serum to you, because I know that is also a cream formula, and it doesn't have any strong scent to it at all. The other recommendation is a little bit more expensive, so keep that in mind. It's the Thrive Retinal Serum as well. That one also is creamy, has no scent to it, and it's a little bit more expensive, but I've been using it for a long time and I do really like it. And the best time to buy it is when they have their buy one get one offer on the, you know, Retinal or just any of their products in general. That's the best time to buy it. Now we have the last product. I swear, I know this video is long, but I have one last makeup product that I wanted to speak about in this video, which I also found to be disappointing. There are actually two. They're both liquid lipsticks. They're from different brands. We have Lakme's 9 to 5 liquid matte lip colors. This is something that launched a little bit earlier in the year, and when it first launched, I was so excited to get my hands on it. I did hold off for a little while. I didn't purchase it immediately. In fact, I bought it recently, I want to say a month or two ago, and I tried it out and I was very disappointed by the formula. There are a couple of things I don't like about it. The first thing is that I feel like I have to dip into it way too many times to get product on and then apply it on my lips. I don't have super big lips. I feel like the size of my lips is decent. If you have super thin lips, then you might not face the problem, but if you have medium to bigger lips, I feel like you're gonna have to dip multiple times into it to get any product out and then apply it on you, and then again dip, and then again apply, and then again dip. You have to do that 4 to 5 times, which I generally don't tend to experience with other products. So that is one disappointing thing. The other thing is that I do find the formula to be a little bit drying and not as comfortable and plush on the lips, which is something to note, because I feel like nowadays there are a lot of other really good lipsticks and liquid lipsticks out there that are comfortable to wear, that are nice to apply, that have a plush formula that doesn't dry out your lips. So for this lipstick to not be comfortable on the lips, it's something that you don't want to wear. You won't reach out for a lipstick like that, and then it doesn't make sense to have. And my third problem with it is that it doesn't fully dry down or settle down on the lips. If you like do this to the lipstick after wearing it for a couple of hours, it will actually peel from the area. So the other day I was wearing it and I felt a little uncomfortable, but I'm like, okay, let me just do this to like just make my lips a little bit more comfortable, and it peeled off my upper lip. And then I was like, no, I'm just not dealing with this again. I'm not going to use this again. I'm going to probably declutter it. I ended up buying 2 shades, and one shade I just gave it back. I returned it. The other shade I still have with me, but I will possibly declutter that, to be completely honest, because I was just not happy with it at all. And then the other lipstick, which was also a little disappointing, and here I don't think the formula is as disappointing as the color. So the Maybelline Touch of Spice liquid lipsticks, wait, I should say this again. The Maybelline Sensational liquid lipsticks are a newer formulation that Maybelline has, and it's kind of like the sister to the bullet lipsticks that they have. So I got the shade Touch of Spice because I love the bullet lipstick in Touch of Spice, but I wanted the same color in a liquid lipstick. And I was expecting, based on what I saw online and based on even the photos and the name, like it just makes sense, right? If you're naming a liquid, like if you're naming a product over an existing product which is in a different formula, and both your ranges are like sisters to each other, it's going to be the same shade. Like that's what you expect, but it's not. The Touch of Spice bullet lipstick, I'm pretty sure you guys will know, is a slightly more cool toned pink. Whereas the liquid lipstick is way different. It's like a coral, peachy, bold shade. So when you see the 2 lipsticks together combined, you will not be able to think that they're both the same shade, actually, like the same name, same everything. So I just find that to be a little deceptive in my opinion, and that is the more disappointing part, is the color. The formula is okay, but I also don't reach for a lot of coral bright shades, so I feel like I've not worn this enough to really comment on the formula. But the reason I'm mentioning it in my disappointing like products video is because of how deceptive the name and the color is. So yeah, that's my problem. Definitely would not recommend either of these lipsticks or liquid lipsticks. What I would recommend instead you get is either the Miss Claire liquid lipsticks or the Plum liquid lipsticks. If you're looking for a comfortable long wearing liquid lipstick, I would definitely recommend Plum. If you're looking for something that has a really beautiful finish, formula, pigmentation, and is very comfortable, but if you're okay to compromise on the longevity just a little bit, I would still recommend Miss Claire, because I find these to be like beautiful colors, beautiful pigmentation, very very opaque. But if you're eating or drinking, they do come off after meals. This is a question I actually got on one of my shorts, and I wanted to mention that the Miss Claire liquid lipsticks are not the most long lasting. So that's something you need to keep in mind. But apart from that, I do really like both of these formulas, and these are actually shades and formulas that I reach for on a day-to-day basis in my own personal life too. Off camera, if you're seeing me wear a liquid lipstick on camera or off camera, it's probably either Plum or Miss Claire. So that's what I wanted to recommend to you as well. But that's going to be it for this video. It's definitely way longer than I was expecting it to be. So thank you so much for sticking out and watching the entire video. If you did, please leave a comment down below and let me know your thoughts on some of the products that I shared as disappointing products, as well as the products that I shared as alternatives. If you have any thoughts on any of the stuff down below, if you have thoughts on any of the stuff that I spoke about, please leave your thoughts down below in the comment section. I'm gonna go now because I'm definitely getting pretty late for work. So yes, I gotta go, but thank you so much for watching, and I'm gonna see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye.